He'll put the link.
Hello, everyone. Oh, hold on, I gotta. Oh, garbage. I put it on the MOTS podcast.
That's disappointing.
That's okay. He is the link. So.
Yo, yo, yo. Uh-oh. All right, where do we start?
Sure.
Shut up, A-Ray. Just shut up,
Dang.
okay?
Somebody mad?
Just shut up.
You mad, bro?
You know what you're talking about.
Where the heck is the link to this thing?
It's up on the MOTS.
Twitter page.
Yeah, one sec. Let me get this up real quick.
Are you sure it's up?
Yeah, it's up.
Yeah, it's
You mean Dirty South Suckers?
no, it's on the MOTS
It's on MOTS.
YouTube. It's not on DSS.
Well, I meant Twitter, but yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, Eric, do what you do.
All right, hey guys, I just want to start with saying Atlanta sucks, and Atlanta United sucks, and we all suck, and this is.
Is this the start of the podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Or you
No,
just-
is there a better way to start? I'm starting just about as well as.
I thought you were going to introduce us.
Just as bad as I'm starting the show right now.
Oh.
This is how we're starting the show.
Well, we're also starting in the 76th minute because it's 5-1, and you're playing down a man. So I think it's best we just go ahead for all of us.
Man of the match, Miles Robinson, for doing what he did to earn that PK. Really, he should have been the one to take the PK. I'm a little pissed that he didn't take the PK because I think he deserved it. He's the only one doing work out there. Got LGP with a red card for I don't know what.
Okay.
You've got 3 goals in the first 10 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever it was. I think 12 minutes technically. And that's it. We're done talking about the game. All right. Red Bulls on Sunday. Doors open at 11 o'clock.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh,
What
no,
do you want to talk about? What do you want to say?
hold
What's up
on.
to say?
Hold on.
We do have to blame Eric for the red card.
Yeah.
It's only fair.
First of all, Eric wished for a high-scoring match tonight, which we got, and of course it worked. That's why you wanted to move on.
And I think I might be paraphrasing, but Eric goes, man, how could it be worse than like a 3-0
Yeah.
start?
Yeah, and
And then, like, literally 10 seconds later, the Dogzo LGP red card
And
happened.
let's talk about that red card for a sec, because I see a lot of angry people.
Yeah, I don't care what your
on Man
justification
United
is,
Twitter.
Josh. It was
Yeah,
crap.
Josh, whatever you're going to say,
It's crap.
you're stupid,
It was
you're
crap.
wrong, you're
Yeah,
dumb.
dude, come on.
Just
It was crap.
go back to sleep. There's nothing you
I
can
wish-
say.
I
There's
wish I
nothing
was
you can
asleep
say,
before.
Josh. There's nothing you can say.
So, as is happening
It's
right
the
now,
correct
Atlanta
call.
United, as the game is still going on, Atlanta United down to 10 men, and Michael Parkhurst is walking off the field. And they've already used all 3 of their substitutions.
9 men.
So now it's 9 men.
You scored a goal with 10, maybe you'll score more with
That's a good call.
Yeah.
You score another goal because you go down another man.
Look, this could be prophecy right here, but imagine the stars aligning and us going live with about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, 13 minutes left,
And they just keep scoring.
and
goals.
they score in 6-5.
Yeah, I think we're good on that. We'll see.
He does not believe me.
If I can just piss everyone off real quick, I think that red card was correct.
Get
the hell out of here.
How is that not denial
Why?
of a goal-scoring opportunity?
Isn't it denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity?
He literally shot the ball on goal after the handball. So there was
So
literally.
there was no denial of the opportunity.
right,
He was able to shoot the
Let me ask
ball.
you, were you making that argument when Tim Parker fouled Joseph Martinez outside the box and he still had a shot on goal? And
I
they called it back for a red card?
definitely thought that was a little strange, but it was for us, so I was like, all right,
And
cool.
plus, and plus,
There you
Like,
go.
what am I gonna say?
plus, when the foul happened, I mean, he was pretty far to the right side of the goal. I'm just saying, I don't know if that was an obvious goal-scoring opportunity.
I think I mean, I've seen those given a yellow. I just don't think it's an egregious error. I don't think that's one that gets overturned with VAR. And so I think that's, I mean, I know it's a tough one, and certainly the ball is going away from goal. We're just thinking it's a handball. We're not thinking about a red card. At first, I thought maybe LGP had said something to the referee because he took a while to show it, but to show the card. But looking back on it, I mean, it is a handball that there's a goal scoring opportunity.
Just stop being rational.
Disappointingly rational. That's what we do here.
Just be angry with all of us.
I'm angry. I mean,
I'm not even trying to be rational or anything. I just don't see how you can call that an obvious goal scoring opportunity.
because it was one. He shot the ball on goal right after the handball.
Right, but it's denial of an obvious goal scoring opportunity, and
Right.
if he still was able to shoot the ball right, it doesn't make sense.
But as we said with the call, Joseph, we saw that same precedent applied with the handball to Tim Parker.
I don't care about precedent.
And that was up. Okay.
These are MLS refs here. We don't need precedent.
He's got a good point. These are
They pick and choose what they want to do when they want to do it.
these are
The,
PRO officials. He
the-
does make a good point.
The worst in the world, according to Josie Altidore.
None of this makes sense.
I'll take. Okay, so what
Oh my
I would
gosh.
be upset
Oh
about.
my
Got to score again.
Don't get that scored that sixth one on you,
No!
guys. Really, people are going to listen to this in the morning.
I know.
Aaron's
Good.
They must
screaming
know how
in the
angry we are.
Background. But
Eric A. Smith.
I think you look at two of those first three goals. We mentioned this on the halftime show. They come from Atlanta United not applying pressure in the midfield, and you're able to pick a ball out in behind, and then it leads to those individual errors. It leads to that red card for Leandro Gonzalez Perez, who was obviously very poor. But I think you came out really flat, and you didn't pressure Chicago in the midfield. And to compound matters, you had a back four that was just making individual error after individual error to the tune of 3-0 down, one man down. After 10 minutes of play. I mean, you couldn't possibly execute more poorly from a tactical and individual standpoint. And it could have been worse at half. It could have been worse at halftime, and you could see it coming. It was just a really, really bad performance, and hopefully you just look back at it as one of those nights, and it motivates you for Red Bulls on Sunday, because this was really bad, and it was bad in a way that we were not expecting. We were worried coming to the match about Atlanta United failing to create chances against a Chicago team that would sit back.
I really want to go back and listen to our pregame.
I know. We talked about Pete
Oh my
Martinez
gosh.
underneath.
What a waste of time.
Subbed out after 10 minutes.
I wonder how he
create
felt about that,
chances.
by the way. I mean, I get that the red card makes you have to make changes, but
Honestly, I bet it was kind of a relief because he's like, all right, this is something I don't have to
That's
get
true.
crap from everyone about
See,
how I played bad.
Andrew Carlton should have been subbed on when you were down like 4-0, and that should have been his punishment to have to play the rest of that game.
Subbing Andrew Carlton for Guzan.
I think, and that's another. I'm not a big. I don't talk about goalkeepers much because, to me they play a different game, and it's you either stop it from going in the net or
In terms of
not.
blaming him?
Yeah, but
I can't blame him on a lot of that.
But I think Guzan made a couple mistakes.
The
tonight.
one at the near post, I think you gotta. It's just keeper 101. Don't get beat at the near
I
post.
think he might have been screened.
I would be interested to see if there's any data backing this up. I don't think he's been having a particularly good season. I can point to a lot of games where the opposition has, it feels like 2 or 3 shots and he's letting one in. He's letting some soft goals. He's made some errors. Tonight, I think, he gets beat at the near post. He gets one put between his legs. And obviously, he's not at fault for being down 5-1.
Another Atlanta United player down.
Horrible.
I think he's milking it.
Horrible defensive performance, I thought, is what cost you. But I think Brad Guzan is struggling right now with his form.
So who made the worst mistake?
I would wonder. I would
Pogba.
venture to guess, or I want further into that research.
Yeah,
I'm curious at how many of those goals that maybe he could have done better on, maybe cost us or didn't help our cause in winning the match. Because if we ended up winning the match anyway,
the one that comes
I
to
don't care,
mind
personally.
is when that random Barrow kid or whatever for New York Red Bull scored that header where he didn't react.
Okay, yeah.
In time, there were a couple other ones.
I kind of disagree with the hate on Buzan for that one, but
I just think if you look at his season
I can
on the
understand the
whole,
argument.
I think he's not. I mean, and again, I don't like to talk about goalkeepers that much. It's boring.
By the way, it's
But,
Pereira that
it's
was
not
down,
great.
and he looks like he might be concussed. So
no,
I don't think he's milking this.
I think.
And Frank de Boer cutting a
I don't know, dude. He looks kind of glassy eyed.
cutting a frustrated.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I hope he's milking it because concussion wouldn't be obviously it's not the best thing in the world.
Definitely not.
But if he pukes, you know he's concussed. Anyways,
Thank you for that.
no, that's
No, I know. It's
like rule of thumb.
legit. Yes.
So yeah, we're starting this podcast like 15 minutes before the game even ends because we know how it's going to end ultimately, and Josh is trying to make sense of things. Sam and I are just.
That's all I got, man.
I mean,
Stop being rational, you jerk.
That's literally all I got. I have no more rational things to say about this match.
It was not Donzo.
Was so bad.
That's really the only thing you can. And look, it would be one thing to if that had been a turning point very early on, or if it were 0-0, even 1-0, Chicago. If that call gets made, and ultimately makes it 2-0, then you're talking about. But the fact that it's 3-0 means absolutely nothing to this game, except the fact that there's no way you're getting into it. But we can all argue about the call, but that's not affecting LGP still being in the game or not. It's not going to affect.
No,
I mean,
I mean,
3-0 would have been fine. I mean, you can theoretically come back from that if you have 11 men. But the red card was way more damaging there than the actual goal.
We can disagree on the on whether it's the right call, but how it affects the overall outcome, I think there's no. It doesn't affect it at all. You're still losing this match.
Well, and if you look at how the fourth and
It's at
fifth
least
goals
3-1.
came, similar to it wasn't a matter of you getting pulled side to side and playing a man down and having to chase the ball. It was the same thing. Route 1 stuff, not being able to defend. So I tend to agree with you, Eric. I think you're looking at a pretty bad night, regardless of whether you go down a man or not. And to be honest, going down a man in some ways, and we've seen in the second half, has caused Chicago, I think, to voluntarily take their foot off the gas a little bit. And, who knows, at 11v11, maybe it's even worse.
By the way, it also looked like they had that, concussion doctor just in Pereira.
Yeah, it looks like he's looking at Pereira.
So he's in the protocol, I would assume.
Not good. And not to crap on this night even more.
And you can't afford to lose any bodies right now. I mean, we talked about Andrew Carlton traveling with the team after Frank de Boer was, he was supposedly so deep in his doghouse.
Oh, but they were so ravaged
roster,
by injuries.
And you literally had, I think you had 18 guys available because you didn't have Joseph available, you didn't have Tito available, Romario's been traded, so Kevin Kraft's still out injured. I mean, I think that, you might be looking at, if you already lose LGP. If you lose Pereira and Barco's not back,
and LGP,
and LGP is gone, you're either addressing an academy kid or playing maybe with one short on the bench again.
I still think there's a chance that.
Or then you had 2 kid, I should say, not the academy.
I think there's a chance that LGP's red card might get overturned.
No.
I think there's a chance.
No.
I don't think it can because I think if you overturn that, then Dogzo is such a weird interpretation kind of thing that I think once that call's made, I'm kind of with Josh there. I don't see how you can. I hope that he gets it overturned on appeal because I think ultimately something like that happens should probably just be a yellow card.
And I think it's a tough one, right? And with people talking about the double jeopardy element of this, I think that the rule is written so that is when you make a play on the ball. So the rule was changed where if there's a foul denying obvious goal scoring opportunity in the box, it can be a yellow card instead of a red to avoid the double jeopardy situation if you're making a play on the ball, which would be a kick or a slide tackle or something like that. Specifically in the rule book says handballs are not included in that, so that would not be considered a play on the ball. So that
again, you're trying to make sense of this, and I'm just
saying that you can't. This has been a rough night, man. I mean, I don't know whether to take from this. I think.
What can you take?
If you looked, I think
you're down to 10 men.
I mean, everything was sideways from the beginning of the game. I mean, they had a shot on goal, I think, at 23 seconds.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's like at that point.
Wow. I'll say this. Look, every now and then you're going to have one of these matches. Thankfully, these don't come too often for Atlanta United. We've seen it go the other way in favor of Atlanta United.
Absolutely.
These same situations. So look, once every 3 years, cool. It sucks that it happened against the Chicago Fire. I would rather it happen to like a Red Bulls, honestly, because then you can use that as an excuse as to why you didn't beat them, as opposed to the Chicago Fire, who are absolute garbage and only won 4 games this entire year and somehow managed to put 5 on Atlanta United, one of the better defensive teams in the league.
Really, so much shock.
Second best defensive team in the league, first in the East, only 1 goal back, or I guess difference between us and LAFC.
Yeah.
A chance to go on top of the table in the East.
Yep. No, I don't disagree.
Say bye-bye to that goal differential.
I think maybe the only Eric is mad.
Oh gosh.
Now Guzan's,
What the heck was that?
This has become a circus.
let's Guzan
An
like
absolute
20 yards off
circus.
his line.
Brad Guzan pulling a Manuel Neuer.
So what?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So what can we take from this game
Oh my
to
God.
transitioning to the Red Bulls?
Don't accidentally.
Because I know Eric wanted to do that 15 minutes ago, but I think what do you take from this game to the Red Bulls? I think on the field, nothing. You can look, I think,
It's all mental.
a little bit into the starting 11. Yeah, you got that
It's all
part.
mental.
But I think you can extrapolate one. I think Michael Parker's playing midweek at left back. You're probably going to see Breck Shea this weekend. Jeff Lorenowitz starting at CDM pretty much all but confirms. You're going to see Eric Rometti rotated in. So obvious, and then of course you're gonna have to fill LGP's shoes, and hopefully Joseph comes back. So
Well, look, Joseph, I assume will start.
yeah, you're right. He'll be back. Yeah.
Pity. Look, let's look at the benefits of him being subbed out 5 minutes in. He's well rested.
Yep.
Yeah.
And hopefully Barco will be back as well.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. DeBoer told us it's a possibility, and everyone plays better when Barco's on the field.
Gressel should be back. He got off pretty early. Nagby got off pretty early. You already mentioned Parkhurst. Franco Escobar, I don't really think the leg should be a problem for him. Well, Parkhurst, you might actually have to play. Did you already mention the center back?
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
that's the thing. Yeah, right. So you're thinking you're going to rotate him, but in the end, you might have to play him. You might have to play him. Yeah, that's center
We'll
half.
see. Pogba maybe, but I have to say, who knows?
Yeah, I
because
mean,
that
he was
not the greatest.
Did not cover himself in glory tonight.
Well, look, let's be honest.
What about
Because-
Larry
because-
at center back
But
again?
time out.
Maybe so.
As much as we look at that one moment from Pogba that led to one of the gazillion goals that Chicago scored, no one played well. I mean, it's no one's playing
No,
well.
that was
No one
the
played well.
theme.
Everyone is give everyone a 0 on the player ratings for all I care. Like it really does not matter. Everyone played bad. You take this one, you throw it in the garbage, you forget about it. Every now and then you have one of these matches. Year one for us, it was the same. This literally happened in favor of us against Chicago Fire.
That's what's
And that's where we
interesting,
saw,
right? I mean,
that's where we saw
this is
Joseph Martinez's first 2 amazing goals.
in a lot of ways a mirror image of Chicago Fire coming to Bobby Dodd Stadium early on in 2017, and they get the early red card, and then the statistics were similar. That was the thing that jumped out at me is I've never seen Atlanta United dominate statistically to this point. You've got here outpossessed 77% to 23. Outshot by a pretty ridiculous amount as well. It was 16-2 at one point. And then you were dispossessed 13 times. And we're in stoppage time now, so I think we can pretty much call that stat final. You're dispossessed 13 times in this match.
Don't lose hope yet.
Unbelievable.
It's been a train wreck, so it could happen.
Chicago was passing at an over 90% clip all night. I mean, a lot of that has to do with being up a man. I mean, if the shots are 20-3 now, I mean, it's just absolute domination. Like you said, Eric, it was domination at 11v11. But the thing is now you've got a big match coming up against Red Bulls at home on Sunday, and you're going to be missing Leandro Gonzalez-Perez. You're going to, like you said, Eric, maybe starting a fatigued Michael Parkhurst in the middle at center back in his place. You're going to be hopefully trying to reintegrate Ezequiel Barco and Joseph Martinez into the team. I mean, you're going to have a lot of moving pieces, a lot of questions heading to an absolutely critical match against one of your main competitors in the Eastern Conference.
The good thing is you've got Red Bulls right now losing against. I'm sorry.
I mean, does it really matter who they're losing to? I mean, when they play Atlanta United, all that gets.
They're down
Dynamo,
down 1-0 to Houston Dynamo at the half, and they'll be going Houston. Well, I guess it's about the same amount of travel.
Yeah, so
Houston
I mean,
to
like,
Atlanta,
if they
Chicago
do,
to Atlanta.
if they do, I almost want them to win this match against Houston.
Hmm.
Make it a comeback, make it glorious, do whatever you got to do to make them feel all happy and gloriful and inside. Because for Atlanta United going into this match against the Red Bulls at home, you got to think that this is going to light the fieriest of fires under their booties, because they don't want this to happen again. They want to. They need repentance. They need
Mhm.
to go through the fire. They need to prove to everyone. Oh my gosh, look at Breck Shea. Hold on. Oh, there it is. There it is.
Mesmerized by Breck Shea going
There it is.
1v6.
Anyways,
Leroy Jenkins, that's what the team's doing.
So this was already a big match. I think it becomes bigger now because you're trying to
it's
seriously get some confidence back. I mean, this is turned from a maybe measuring stick match to maybe a critical match in terms of getting your season back on track. Wow, great save by Brad Guzan here in stoppage time. What was that noise? Was that noise audible that you just made, Eric?
Only the dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. What in the world? But
it was my what do you call it? What do you call it?
Oh, you're the brown noise.
The brown noise.
Oh man.
I'm about to say what I think you're trying to say. I don't know if it's appropriate, so I'm not going to say.
Well, it's a podcast.
I was going to say, is that your vinegar strokes?
No, what? No. You're right. Not appropriate.
Oh, I mean,
Not
you said it on the podcast.
The sphincter. What's the phrase? The tight sphincter.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
What's the phrase?
I don't know. This is really going on.
You know what I'm talking about?
I mean, I know like tight and loose.
Never mind. Forget it. All right, this has gone off the rails.
Wow, I mean, you're not really explaining.
You use the phrase all the time. When you're squeezing your butthole.
Squeaky bum.
Squeaky bum.
Squeaky bum time.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you,
oh
Jenna,
yeah.
for-
Squeaky bum
Thank
time.
you, Jenna,
Yeah.
for getting
Okay. Yeah, that's the Alex Ferguson. Squeaky
Yeah,
bum
that
time.
was an interesting way of describing it by Eric.
All right. Well. That's what that was. I didn't want a sixth, okay? I didn't want a sixth. That was
Yeah, if your dog just started going crazy while you're listening to this, that's Eric's fault.
All right, let's look ahead to the Red Bulls. They just came off of, they're playing Houston Dynamo right now. Before that, they took on the Chicago Fire, beat them 3-1. Great performances by Daniel Royer, Kaku. They got goals from Alejandro Romero, Brian Wright, and I mentioned Daniel Royer already. They, oh, wait, that's not even the right game. Yeah, it is. I'm sorry.
5-1. Game over.
What is this guy doing? I can't wait till the Atlanta United podcast about MOTS tonight. And they executed poorly.
Oh, yeah.
Eric did. DeBoer's
I'm
going
just
to be furious.
Eric's out here making weird sounds.
On par with the Atlanta United's play right there. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey, good point.
If you get to suck, we get
Second half, Atlanta United won 1-0, baby.
Hey-o.
Hey.
And Orlando City had 2 red cards tonight. So.
Oh, see, anything we can do, they can do better.
Silver lining.
That is the silver lining.
linings, my friend.
It's like, whoa, Atlanta United had 1 red card. Hold my beer.
Look, here's the real difference for me in this, because I think both these teams are pretty even, and I think Red Bulls have quite a few guys off on their national duty. So right now, so we'll see how they are when they come back.
Yeah, Tyler Adams is so much on international duty that he's even playing his club soccer internationally now.
There you go.
He's left completely.
But Luis Robles to me is going to be the key. If he's on his game, then I think it's going to be a tough task for Atlanta United. I don't see it being lopsided one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is not going to be easy in the slide. I think if you get 1 goal, you should be extremely happy that you got it on Luis Robles. If you get more than 1, bunker, because I don't think we're scoring a third. I just think I have that much respect for Luis Robles. I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper.
Yeah, he's made some great saves against us. I mean, maybe it turns into Joseph Martinez versus Luis Robles. I mean, we're going to see. I mean, I still think if you're able to create enough opportunities, you should be fine.
And who knows? Maybe Chris Armas does something completely ridiculously stupid tactically again against us.
I hope so.
Hands us the game.
That would be nice. That's just what we need. That's just what we need. I mean, I'm suddenly fascinated by the match against the Red Bulls. I mean, there's so much more riding on that match than you would have ever thought, just a couple hours ago. I mean, you mentioned Robles. Obviously, Kaku is going to be key for them. Daniel Royer has been very good on the wings. who are you going to have Breck Shea trying to match up with one of those tricky wingers as a left back? I mean, you're going to have a lot of questions they're going to have to answer. I think they'll come into Mercedes-Benz a confident side this weekend.
You got to watch out.
Regardless what happens tonight.
You got to watch out for that Thierry Henry character.
Thierry Henry.
I don't know. I don't feel great about it.
By the way,
if you've got Barco, Pitti, Tito, Joseph, any of the combination of those four guys coming back off of not playing for as long as they've been playing with Atlanta United. I know Joseph has been playing with Venezuela, but for not playing as long as they've been playing with Atlanta United or without Atlanta United, that to me concerns me. And a game as big as the one we're kind of playing up against the Red Bulls.
Yeah, and I think, you mentioned kind of the Red Bulls missing players. One that's been missing due to injury, obviously, is Bradley Wright Phillips. Scores a lot of goals. He's just coming back. So he came off the bench in their last match, and he did not start tonight, which really makes you think he's going to be starting Sunday instead of most likely Brian White up top. That absolutely has to lead you to believe that. Otherwise, why would you probably not start him after he already gets a substitute appearance on the weekend? So, just thing after thing, you're going to have center backs. Michael Parker's playing center back. You're going to have to deal with probably BWP back in there and probably a Kaku who's also resting tonight on the bench. Red Bulls are going to.
They're looking ahead.
Are clearly looking ahead, similar to with Atlanta United with Joseph, maybe keeping him home. The problem is then you enter this match with maybe an injury to Dion Ferreira. We'll see.
He looked
on a red card suspension.
He did not go back in the game, by the way. Atlanta United did finish the game with 9 minutes.
Yeah, so we might. Yeah, so I think they're going to come in licking their chops. They're going to have their two best attacking players well rested, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be tough.
Look, we know that Atlanta United has the talent to play with the Red Bulls. We know that like tonight is an outlier in the greatest sense of the word. This will likely not happen again for a long time. Something to this effect, where you're down 3-0 within the first 13 minutes. So we know that they can play. They have the skill. They have the talent. They have the technical ability to play against a team like a Red Bulls. I wouldn't go the rest of this weekend thinking, oh my gosh, I'm dreading. Well, I guess you could and appease the dread god, but I wouldn't go into this weekend dreading what is coming up Sunday. But for the players, they got to look at this as an opportunity for redemption. You got to switch out of the mentality if you lost. You want to see what we want to see tonight at the Pitti. We got to see it Sunday for real.
Yeah,
you didn't have a chance to show it tonight. You didn't. He played 5 minutes, then he got subbed out. Sunday's got to be the day where he shows up. Sunday's got to be the day where he finds it in him to lead Atlanta United. He was taken off for a reason 5 minutes in. They could have pulled Lorenowitz off. They could have pulled Nagby off. But because he is in such a bad run of form right now, and he doesn't help defensively, and you're in a position where he can't take the ball in the midfield, go upfield, and start a counter. He just doesn't have that right now. He had to get pulled off. That's got to hurt his pride a little bit. And maybe it hurt before with all the talk that has been circulated around him on social media and in the interviews. But at some point, you got to turn on. Sunday would be a perfect day for him to do that. You bring Joseph and potentially Barco back into the mix, and hopefully you're talking about, honestly, even if they lose, as long as there's a better performance.
I still think, aside from the mental part, if you're able to shake off this result, I think Atlanta can very well come out with a very good performance.
Hey, y'all want a fantastic Frank DeBoer post-game quote?
What we got?
He's just plugged into my laptop so I could hear it, and this was him being interviewed on the field after the game, and he goes, I told him the only thing we can do in the second half is show some balls, and they did.
Wow. Motivation.
No, that's pretty much all you can. That's.
We said on the radio show, if Frank DeBoer is,
he said show some
if he's anything, he's blunt.
I love him.
And that's pretty blunt.
I love him. Well, we're going to learn a little bit.
I love Frank, too. That quote is my favorite quote a coach maybe has ever said.
We're going to learn a little bit about him and how he motivates and if he can get the guys back refocused. I think he will. I'm more positive than you are about this match, Eric. I think.
Oh, I'm positive.
I think you had a perfect storm of horribleness
Bad
tonight.
things.
I mean, you don't talk about a bad outlier performance from a defense that's been pretty reliable for most of the season, and suddenly you've got, Leandro Gonzalez-Perez whiffing on clearances, Michael Parker's getting beat left and right. We talked about the mistake by Pogba earlier.
I mean, this is like
That's one of the worst mistakes that I've seen on a field.
Everything that happened in this match. This is like the straight flush of games. Of games of
like we said,
things to start the game.
I think Brad Guzan could do better on a couple of those goals as well. So it's really a perfect storm of ineptitude. So I mean, I really think you can just toss this match aside and it come with a good performance at home.
See, this is what I don't want to see. I don't want to see people talking about how it all is lost. And we need a player to save us, or we need something to change. This is one match. It's an extreme outlier.
Yeah,
this is not who
so.
This is not who Atlanta United is.
Mm-hmm.
They have in no way showed that this is the team that they are.
Well, things
in
are
fact,
never.
It's been the exact opposite, where they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. One of the best defensive teams in the league, with the least amount. Well, not anymore, but with the least amount of goals scored against.
It's like the old saying, things are never
harp-
as bad as they seem, and
Yeah.
they're never as good as they seem.
I want to harp on that because it's not all doom and gloom because of this one match. It looked absolutely pathetic. It looked horrible.
I think more than anything, it's the pride. Like the team has to show some pride and step up, buck up, play better than they did. When it gets to like 3-0 and then it's 4-0, 5-0, it's like that's embarrassing.
The body language in the first half was so bad.
But I'll say this: I mean, Frank de Boer hit the nail on the head in the second half. And I'll say, granted, when you're up 5-0, there's not a whole lot of urgency from your team on the offensive side. So Frank de Boer can say, Frank de Boer can say the team came out and showed some balls all he wants, but I mean, did they really? I mean, they're playing against a team
that's
that
all
isn't
he
trying
can.
to
That's
do
all
anything.
he can say. I mean,
exactly. So I mean, that quote, we laughed at it when I said it. It's funny, but ultimately it means nothing because I mean, show some balls. It's like, well, they're not going to score any more goals on you. They've already got 5, and they did have a few more chances after that. But I mean, ultimately, or for the most part, they were just content to kind of sit back.
Are you blaming de Boer?
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying that.
So like what? I mean, I'm just saying. I don't know what else I can.
Well, no, I'm just saying that's a quote that's going to grab a lot of headlines, but ultimately it means nothing. It absolutely means nothing because at that point
I would say if anything, it sends a strong message that look, obviously that this can't stand. But
of course.
Yeah. I think as long as he got that point across, I don't care what he said. He could have cursed out the entire team for the entire 20 minutes they were in the locker room.
The more I think about it now, though,
because he could have said anything. I would have
given that to Carlton travel.
I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't either, but like that's the thing. Like you're speaking out of both sides of your mouth, where you're talking about this kid needs to learn discipline, and we're going to try to send him a message. And wasn't there a quote about how he was going to be with the twos for the rest of the year or something? Am I not reading that right? Anyway, it just seems like you're not really, holding players accountable if one travels like a few weeks after that. I mean, granted, he did say after this whole thing happened that Carlton's gonna have to be a part of the squad out of necessity, just based on the fact that depth and things like that.
All right.
Well, so hold on. I think this is a great question from Twitter. So this is me says Rhode Island, neither a road or an island. Discuss. So I think we should talk about that now.
I don't know enough about Rhode Island,
but it's spelled RHODE.
Well, it's not an island because it's landlocked, so it can't be an island.
Okay, so
is it landlocked?
Yes, it's touching land.
Who is Mr. Road?
Landlocked means that you don't border.
Well, I mean, it touches land, so it can't be an island. It's a peninsula.
Oh.
Road Peninsula just doesn't sound as good.
It should be Road Peninsula.
The geographical term, yes, peninsula.
Ah, okay. Or maybe an isthmus. That's what Panama is.
Is it an isthmus?
Do we have any other good questions?
Let me find out.
It's not even a peninsula, because peninsula has to be surrounded by water on 3 sides.
Thoughts on guidelines and principles for success in transfer market?
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, I like that.
I talked about this before.
Heineman.
When we were just kind of Emerson Heineman signs, obviously that's a good one to bolster up your
we'll see how,
center of midfield.
I can't imagine he just got brought over or he got signed just to kick the ball around.
Well, when you look at the
price,
and this has been mentioned a lot, but the price you spent just to get his discovery rights indicates it's much more than you usually see unless you really.
I mean, if you're spending.
I think you're really going to use him.
I think 2, right?
Yeah.
Just sending one.
Yeah. And I think you're really, really going to have to use it. And
I think maybe you're off to get one more depth piece, but outside of that, I think there's not much else going on.
I would like to see, and I think maybe the Romario opens up the door to this, as you sign another striker. I'm not saying like someone to start or anything like that, but I think Vasquez and Joseph, you need one more out-and-out 9 on your roster.
Patrick Okonkwo.
My thing is, what kind of striker would you want? More like Joseph or more like Vasquez?
More, well.
I think you need to hold up.
And what I say is like a target.
No, right. No, yeah, you want a different
Back to
type
goal.
of. Yeah, no, I think you want more of a target guy. Yeah, but at the same time, I think you just have to look at, with Joseph's been out, and you haven't. I mean, I look at those chances that Brandon Vasquez missed in that Montreal match.
You want a better version of Brandon Vasquez?
I know he scored in U.S. Open Cup. I know he scored a penalty tonight. Yeah, I think you need a little more quality there, because if Joseph goes down, you don't want to have to resort to putting Tito up there. He was not even available right now. So
you're saying you need somebody that's not just a back to goal.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, I think you need a better version of Brandon Vasquez.
We also wonder,
So no people in Sagi.
You've heard the rumors that maybe Nagby's leaving in the summer. So you wonder if that has anything to do with maybe the question, or maybe just the opportunities themselves.
Nagby's play overall this year has not been as good as it was last year.
I
might be because he's having asked to do different things.
I'm of the belief that's more on Kitty.
I can see that.
I haven't noticed Nagby regressing.
I haven't
just don't think he's been as impactful.
I haven't either, but if you're going to say that maybe Nagby doesn't look as good as he did last year.
It's because he's not playing next to Almiron.
Right.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
And Pity's not really doing him any favors when it comes to, creating moments for him. Because remember, Nagby, what he did was he opened up things for the next person. So whether it's Almiron, whether it's Tito, whether it's Gressel, he's opening things up for everyone else. And so when he does try to do that for someone like Pity, it doesn't come off.
And who does that for Atlanta United now is Ezequiel Barco.
Yeah.
He's fills that role of Almiron of driving the team forward, controlling the tempo, creating chances for others. And without him, I think you see a lot of these other pieces struggle the way that we have with cohesiveness, with getting on the ball in a dangerous area where they want it. I think definitely some of the problems you allude to in attack, with respect to Miguel Almiron being gone, we're seeing those because Ezequiel Barco has also been gone in the recent past as well. And aside from the defensive performance, I do think you've seen an Atlanta United team that you would like to be a little more incisive in the final third and create more chances than they have. And I think Barco is a huge part of that.
Someone asked, what's my prediction for Pity on Sunday?
Oh no, he'll get injured if you say it.
Hat trick.
Okay, PT. Oh no.
So what does that mean? I don't know.
If he
but
gets
my prediction
injured,
is hat trick.
Eric, I swear to God, if he pulls up a hamstring or something like that.
Hat trick for Pity.
Hat trick for PT. You heard it here first. I think we're gonna win. So you and I,
at home.
I think we're gonna win.
You got the Women's World Cup, USA, all the way in at 11 o'clock inside Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You guys are both going to be there, correct?
Yes,
I will be there myself.
Come hang out.
Have an adult beverage.
As Vince McMahon once said, no chance in hell. I don't really see any way they're going to win. I don't. Not the way they're playing right now.
If you play like that tonight, but I just don't think what we saw tonight is
not overall.
What we've seen this season.
But that's the thing. They've had some wins mixed in here recently, but I think overall in form, there's been a dip.
Definitely performances. I think throughout the year have not been what you became accustomed to, especially going forward.
Because we're spoiled fed
under Tata Martino, but we'll see. So we'll be at the. We should tweet out where we're hanging out in the stadium. Maybe y'all can. Come
say what's up.
Come hang, come watch the game.
Because no one likes me because I am the curse.
Yeah, well, tell Eric you don't like him. You can have a beer with me.
Apparently, I caused this 5-1 loss.
Oh yeah, everyone knows that. Yeah.
Yeah, you did cause the red card.
First, you caused the PT miss, the missed penalty last week, and now tonight. So. If we leave with anything, it's that it is really just Eric's.
Or maybe we're just bad luck in general because we've done this exact thing.
No, it's all Eric.
All right. Anything else we need to hit on before we take off? I don't know how we got 38 minutes out of this.
Have we gone 38 minutes?
That's how much we've gone. I don't know how, but we did it. It's a lot of ridiculousness.
Well, I think actually we have to finish with this question
Well,
from Jenna.
Go ahead.
Is Eric actually the Dread God?
I regret to inform you. Look, I wish I would. Are you kidding me? You know who I would sit my powers on? You think Orlando would have any kind of success?
well, that's certainly.
Are you kidding?
What type of success have Orlando? How is that supposed to help your argument?
You want to know what would be happening to their stadium? I'm talking rat infestations, cockroaches all over the place.
Okay, it has to be about the infestations, huh?
And then on the field,
I think Jenna brings up a good point.
Embarrassing goals given up.
You're the one that's been bringing up the Dread God since I've ever been on this podcast. And
it wasn't even
you've usually since I've been, it was a thing before I came on.
It was Jay.
No, you brought it up before. Well, unless he invented it on
Twitter. He was the raccoon witch.
The first time I heard you talk about the Dread God was when we lost in Vancouver in 2017. It was like the 4th or 5th episode I did, and Eric said something about the Dread God, and I wasn't sure what he was talking about. And then after that Vancouver match, I knew.
This is a homework. This is a homework assignment.
Is it possible,
listeners,
that the man mentioning the Dread God repeatedly is actually that man?
Someone find out. Yeah, because I want the worst for Atlanta.
Drove Tata Martino away.
All right.
You are an Orlando plant, sir. You are a plant.
Here's the last question for the podcast. Somebody asked, how do we kill a god?
How do we kill a god?
I mean, Thanos killed Loki pretty easily in
Thanos, who
Avengers.
had it. Thanos, who just wanted to help with the overpopulation
So do we
in the world. By the way, as you all know, I am Team Thanos.
Do we have a Thanos that we can come kill the Dread God?
What do? They went in a time machine. I don't know.
All right, what's a Thanos?
What's a Thanos?
Leave it to Eric.
From the Avengers.
What's a Thanos?
You know, the bad guy in the biggest movie of all time.
Who were the Avengers?
Okay.
Wow.
So you're just being.
I will say one thing
on
a somewhat serious note. If you have read or you haven't read Megan Rapinoe's statement to the media today, very, very pointed comments that I think everybody should read, regardless of your political affiliation. Yeah. And that's all I have to say.
And awesome to, I guess, watch the success the U.S. women's national team have had at the World Cup.
Dream team.
Awesome. They've been so good. They've really been tested. I mean, that's the best part about it is we talked about it going in that we knew because of the depth of talent that hasn't been that they're going to be tested like they haven't before. And they've done fantastically well against different types of teams in Spain, France, and England. And, you'll see what happens against Netherlands on Sunday, but you got to think the most difficult opponents are right behind you.
Now they just have to get past schmuck a pancake.
Yes, and of course the Dutch are known for losing a major cup final. So
sugar on a waffle.
Hopefully this. What is Sam doing? So hopefully this.
You remember the
schmuck a pancake?
Yeah, the Dutchman from Austin Powers.
Of course.
Yeah.
So they've made a habit of losing major finals throughout their history. So maybe the women will do as the men have, and another World Cup for the U.S. women. Well deserved.
I hope it's
pay them.
I hope it's drama filled. I personally don't want to see another what was the score last 4 years ago?
Well, it was because
Carly Lloyd had a first half hat trick.
That was fantastic. But after those first 15 minutes, I was like, all right, well, what else?
It got boring.
What else can I do?
Absolutely.
It was the same as in this game, so it's not like a girl-guy thing, I promise. But after the first 15 minutes, I was like, all right, well, what else is on?
You know what is a girl-guy thing, by the way? If Alex Morgan had been a guy and did that celebration, nobody would have said a word.
That was a fantastic celebration.
I can agree with that.
And
did anyone?
As you all know, I was like the most upset one about the 13-0 stuff. That was great.
Who made a big stink about it?
Piers Morgan, British people.
Let's be specific. So
the salty people.
Salty British people.
This is so it's not a girl guy thing.
It's a American British thing.
I don't know.
No, I'm telling you, man. If a guy had done that, there would not have been near.
The thing is, Eric,
made from the English.
There is a more split opinion on that within the U.S. than I think there would be for America.
There's some sort of bad stigma. It feels like where girls aren't supposed to celebrate like guys.
I want more of that.
I want it, but I'm saying there's this weird, stupid stigma where girls are supposed to be more proper or something, and that they're not supposed to do that.
Well, they certainly are better behaved. On the pitch, that's for sure. But that was awesome.
Have you seen in this World Cup where they rushed the official?
No.
The only time I saw that was in Cameroon.
And then I watched one Copa America match, and I'm like, what?
The Cameroon, the Cameroon thing, they
Right,
got up and
Cameroon-
did this
But
face-to-face.
they had a legitimate reason.
Well, of course,
No,
they,
no.
yeah.
No, I didn't.
But you know what else?
No.
They were wrong.
No.
The calls made against them were correct.
You know what else you don't really get in the women's game either? And this is full credit to them for actually playing the game the right way. You don't really get flopping that much.
No, and
There's not a bunch of rolling
Yeah.
around.
It's done properly. I think Alex Morgan has mastered the art quite well, but she gets bounced of it.
But there's not the Neymar theatrics, you know what I mean?
You don't see the rolling.
Right.
No, it is. It's
7 minutes of stoppage with no injuries.
definitely,
Oh, God.
definitely a breath of fresh air in that sense.
Take more lessons from the women, guys. Stop flopping.
I just don't think we can help it, man. I just think we're too helpless. We just can't take responsibility for anything.
So my dad. Speaking of Copa America, we're from Uruguay. My dad absolutely hates Luis Suarez
Yeah, that's the
because
weirdest
of
thing.
everything he does.
Well, he brings negative attention. I think.
theatrics.
But I'll say this: if I were Uruguayan, I would be praising Luis Suarez for what he did when he slapped the ball. Was that in 2014?
That was 2010. That's
2010. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Because they were playing
Ghana.
Ghana. That's right. They were the only African team left. I would be praising him all day long because again, he took the consequence for his action, and they ultimately won the game.
Absolutely, you do what you do.
Exactly.
You play to win the game.
All right.
Thanks, Herm.
I'm not even gonna sign off. Bye.
Bye bye.
At Sam J. Franco.
So you get all that Twitter follow.
Bye.
Adios.
Good night, y'all.
Horse shit of a game.
Adios.
Blame Eric.
Amor.